Welcome everybody, welcome to the Tomb of Illumination, where I talk a lot about the illumination of man, his spiritual rebirth, the illumination of earth coming into existence, the creation and the whole flat earth design, and of course well, we don't talk too much about this, but the illumination of the Milky Way, because that's part of the divine secret in creation. I talk a lot about what the Egyptians have taught me, and today is on that topic. Something just come to me, and it's all about September. I'm just going through the Book of the Dead again, and I look in the back of it, and they have September coming from Sopdet, ancient Egyptian. The word September came from Sopdet, and I'll read what it actually says in a minute. But and then on the other hand, you go online and they tell you that September came from septem, Latin meaning for seven, from ancient Rome. Latin from ancient Rome. So what is it? From the ancient Egyptians or Latin? Ancient Rome. So there is a connection though between the 7 and the 9, because we know the seven chakras. There's 7 divine systems right through our realm. Colours, sounds, it involves 7, and understanding the 7 or coming into the 7, like raising your 7 chakras to get to the divine state. But the thing is, the divine state, the ultimate, the most spiritually divine number is 9, and September has been placed as the 9th month, right? And we know what Tesla said about the numbers 369, don't we? If you knew this magnificence of 369, you will find the keys to the universe. And quite frankly, I think I found the keys. So anyway, this video, I was going to write a post on Facebook yesterday, and I thought, it's getting a bit complicated. I think it's worthy of a video. So I thought I'd share it with you guys. So this is what we have. I'll just read what we've got on the phone here regarding the two here. The meaning of September comes from ancient Rome. Septem is Latin and means 7. The old Roman calendar started in March, making September the 7th month. When the Roman Senate changed the calendar in 153 BCE, the new year started in January, and September became the 9th month. Well, if this is true, they knew the divine significance of this period, because it's now where it should be, and I'm going to explain the whole thing. Then we go to the back of the Book of the Dead, the ancient Egyptians' Book of the Dead, and we have Sopdet, the female, in brackets, divine personification of the star Sirius, associated with Osiris. They are right, and the first one was right. So we're going to delve into that. Now, there's a meaning to life, and that meaning is for every man on earth to go through his spiritual rebirth, his second birth. It's a spiritual event. There's no physical birth involved, as in a virgin birth. No, it's spiritual. Hence why it's virginal. It doesn't actually come through the legs of a physical woman. It's a spiritual awakening. And there's a divine period within our realm that this can happen. And specifically on 5 holy days. And those 5 holy days are in September. Now the Book of the Dead talks, well, all religious scripture, all ancient philosophy, everything, all basically written, it's all about the flat earth design and man's awakening. The coming into it, the event, and what follows. Okay? So the Book of the Dead's full of that sort of information. A lot of the ancient scripture text is more direct and straightforward, easy to understand, but the Bible's a bit tricky because it's coded. It's only meant for the man with the spiritual insight. Now, everything needs a bit of spiritual insight, all the philosophy, all the religions, and all the ancient texts, myths and legends. But I find it's way easier to understand the ancient Egyptian literature. So, what happens? Why have they mentioned the female? Because the whole divine event is bringing your other half into your system. Like if you're a male, your other half is your spiritual feminine half. You get a reunification. Your spiritual feminine half will come into you. And if you listen to a lot of all the Egyptian stories regarding the deities, Osiris, Nephthys, etc., listen to them all. In there you'll find, you know what I'm saying. So go on YouTube and check them out. Just sit down and listen to the stories. Anyway, it's about reunification with your other half, and it's all about the male. All these stories are basically about the male for some reason. Well, I don't know why, because a similar thing will happen to the woman. She will get her male entity come into her. But all the scriptures just seem to be about the male mainly, but there's some tales in there about the female. So what happens in this unit at this special place, this period? If you're in the right frame of mind, physically, mentally, in the right place, your divine event will take place, can take place. But the thing is, it doesn't happen to everybody, and all the Egyptian stories about the 5 holy days. So, any other period during the year, apart from those 5 holy days, people will get they'll get an event, but it's just a portion of what they can get. So obviously there's only 5 days in a year, and this is the whole story of Osiris and Isis, Newt, and that only allowed to give spiritual birth on 5 days of the year. And where are these 5 holy days? Well, that's the big secret, isn't it? Well, back to why they mention the female. Well, I've just mentioned it, haven't I? The feminine half will come into the male at this point, right? And Sopdet is representing that. And so what are we saying here? Let me just read that again. Oh, I've just put my back out. I'm probably standing a bit weird. So, the female divine personification of the star is Sirius, okay? And what happens around this period? Sirius arrives on the horizon. And I've done videos on Sirius recently. The Freemasons know all about Sirius. And it's represented, well, in the ancient texts they talk about one horizon and the other horizon, the 2 horizons. Horus on the 2 horizons. There's man's arc of horizon. So he looks out, you'll see the sun come up in the morning, you'll see the sun go down at night. That's man's arc of horizon. He always stands 90 degrees to zenith, and everything is observed from his position on Earth. This is how he does celestial navigation, right? Nothing to do with the ball and bring everything back to the centre of the ball. Because look, it's the same system, isn't it? It's a load of garbage, the old ball. So what do we have here? We have the arrival of Sirius. Sirius. Divine period in the year. And it's all about spring, if you understand the ancient philosophies of the Egyptians. Spring. Spring is in the air. Spring. Now when Sirius starts travelling all the way over your arc of horizon every night for 9 months, what have we got over here? We've got old Antares. Antares. I think it's Antares. Hope so. He's the opposite. So you're going to get Sirius go all the way over there, and then Antares will turn up over here. And that's the dark season. This is the season of enlightenment, when Sirius is drifting over there, and it coincides with the 3 wise men, Orion's belt. Orion's belt is just after Sirius arriving, okay? So all the Freemasons know about this divine period. All the ancients did, and they write all about it. So, and this is the divine period. This is why they mention the female. The female divine personification of the star Sirius associated with Osiris. And that's also the whole Osiris story. This divine period is associated with Osiris. So it's pretty hard to get your head around what the difference is between Osiris and Horus half the time. But Osiris is the whole divine event, but in some stories you could be Sirius. Other times you can be Horus if you're the divine one who wakes up. So it's a bit tricky to keep tabs on that. And I'll tell you what, ever since I put all my information on here and on the internet, they've jumped on board and completely corrupted my phone. And it's so sophisticated, it's unbelievable what they decide to pick on and how they screw you over. Emails, everything. Look, the phone's just cutting out all the time now, and I've set it on for 30 minutes. It shouldn't go off for 30 minutes, but it just keeps going in and out. It'll automatically go into silent mode, so your phone doesn't ring all day and you realise it's stuck on silent mode. It just randomly goes into silent mode or airplane mode or whatever it is. It's still not coming on. It'll queue my emails. It'll let me send some, but you know, when you're dealing with your solicitor or work associated with work, it'll queue them. You can't send your emails. It keeps going off. It's on 30 minutes, set for 30 minutes. It's supposed to stay on for 30 minutes. So they're out to get me, I'll tell you that. Now we go back to the Roman story. The meaning of September comes from ancient Rome. September, Latin, it means 7. The old Roman calendar. So they've reset the calendar and made it the 9th month. So they know, these people know all about the divine event. So it's obvious, and the Freemasons worship all this sort of stuff. So they know all about it. They just don't tell you. So where am I going with this? So lost my line of thought actually, what I was trying to get at. Let me get back to the Facebook post, what I started writing here. So they say back in the day the 9th month was not called September. Look at these two pictures. Well, we've been over the test, I think, haven't we? The significance of 369. You know, there's not much detail in there. So, basically I just need you to know that September, September. So let's have a look at this word September. So we have sept, ember, September. Well, for you guys who are right into the Egyptian knowledge, what's the Book of the Dead, or Osiris, Book of the Dead mainly? What's going on? Well, to go through this rebirth, the spiritual rebirth, you have to go through fire. Right? What's the Milky Way? What's the Milky Way called in ancient myths? The dragon. What does a dragon do? Breathes fire. To go through your spiritual rebirth, the whole divine story is about going through fire. Coming through the Milky Way. What comes through the Milky Way? Only the male entity, because the Milky Way is the phallus. Or the obelisk. This is why mainly what's associated with male, I suppose. But it has to go into the female to find the female entity. And when there's a special alignment, bingo, there's your wife. You get married to the female entity. There's a spiritual unification, marriage going on, where your spiritual soul, because once you go through this enlightenment, you raise your soul. Your coiled snake rises up the staff. Well, you could go like that if you. There's your staff. The snake rises up to the top. Here. Raising a soul. This is all this divine event. Nobody has risen their soul when they are born into this physical world. It's down there in their chakra, down there in their sacrum, their sacred region, sacrum. Raise up the snake. What happens when you raise a snake? Well, what do you do to raise a snake in India? You have to play the right tunes. Your body has to be in the right tune to raise your kundalini, to raise your snake. And if you are all in the right tune, or tuned, and you come this time here, bingo, you could be lucky. So, sept, ember, amber, embers in the fire, for the embers of the fire. So they know. In this divine period, there's the 5 holy days that come about in September. September. Sept. Why don't we just type in the etymology of sept, shall we? While we are all gathered here. Sept. Very slow phone. Etymology of sept. Etymology, inherited from Middle French sept, from Old French set, from Latin septem, 7, from, let's go further down, the sept, Greek or Latin, some sept, 7. What does sept mean in Latin? What's the full meaning of sept? Sept is written abbreviation for September. What does sept mean in Greek? Latin 7, 7 years. Why is it named October? Why is September not the 7th month? Well, okay, we go. Etymology online. Sept. Enclosed area. Sept, an enclosed area. Well, it is. It's a divine period. And it's the underworld. We're all led to believe, or some of us are led to believe, that it's the night time. Because, you know, in mythological stories you have this battle going on between day and night. Between Zeus and some other character, I think it is. Always fighting because the sun always comes back and wins. So it's always coming up again in the next morning. Well, that's the day and night. So, look, the phone's just gone off again. But I've given hints about this. If you want to go check out the holy trees, what's happening between the branches. Enclosed area. It's a secret place. It's the whole secret to the universe. From Latin septum, see septum as division of a nation or tribe. Ooh, they've used the word division there. There's another hint. It is apparently a different word. Prob, va, of sect. That means I do not know. Come down here. Sect. Mid-14th, a distinctive system of beliefs or observances held by a number of persons, a party or school within a religion, from Old French sect, city, sect, religious community, and directly from late Latin secta, religious group, sect in philosophy or religion, especially a heretical one. This is a special development of Latin, secta, manner, mode, following school of thought, course, system, literally a way, a road, a beaten path. What is the way? To follow, sent those, organised religion, body, okay. Well, it's obviously collective religion, alright. So, man spiritually goes through the Milky Way. To check out my earlier videos, I've drawn the sun, I've shown you the Milky Way, the male coming down into the female. What's going on here? There's the female vortex, there's the male phallus coming in. Now, there's an alignment, and your male is matched with your female. All divine stuff, actually. Very divine, very deep. But I found the secrets, and that's all in September. Early spring. And I just find this all very interesting. Through fire. Now, you know this Milky Way, well, this fire, that comes from this comes over to the tropics, eh? Shown that in a lot of videos. The tropical gap. Northern hemisphere, there's a centre north Arctic, Antarctic. This is a meridian from north to south. This is your southern hemisphere, all the way around your flat earth. That comes down out of here. Because this is the helix coming up through here. This is expansion, and that's contraction. That's why they have the Bennu bird. Oh, how do you draw a Bennu bird? There's his head, there's his neck, there's his body, there's his legs. Expansion, contraction. Got to go through the choke point, through the eye of the needle to be born again. Isn't that mentioned in the Bible somewhere? And all life comes from water. What have I shown you in my videos? the hydrogen molecule comes up here. Back down there, through the bottom of the earth, back up here. The whole recycling of earth. All life is in this water. It's the female, the water. The moon is connected with that. Now, I think I've given you enough tips on that one. Let me just talk about something else while I'm here, okay? Now, big confession, I've been found wrong because I was taking a little bit of science information, bit of NASA information into my divine theories, and talking about the ecliptic plane. And we've got all the planets out on the ecliptic plane. The sun is on the inside track. It's quicker than all the other celestial bodies. And science tells us that the moon is 5 degrees off the ecliptic plane. 5 degrees off the ecliptic plane. So I brought that into my theories. But we're being fooled here, you know. Well, we know they're full of crap anyway, don't we? Now, I've shown you how the Earth works, how the southern hemisphere is like this, we're in the south, and you've got your northern hemisphere like this. There's the celestial tropical gap, where Orion's belt comes through. I've explained how this is always rotating around the centre north. This is the north. And basically all we see is this going over our horizon. That's half the day. The other half is around the back of us. So we either see daytime over here or nighttime. But the other half is behind us. Well, right now everybody, where's the sun in the southern hemisphere? It's almost right at the top of the ecliptic plane. You could say the ecliptic plane goes like this, and you could draw the sun here. It's like a pyramid. This is down and out, down and out, down and out, out for our December solstice. Down and out. When it's up and in, when the ecliptic plane is up and in, it actually goes like this. Up and in is the June solstice. So basically the sun is nearly up there in relation to the southern hemisphere. Up and in. So we call this up and in. Up and in. Well, slow me down. Where's the moon? Completely opposite. Almost way down here. Okay? So if the ecliptic plane goes like this, because the sun sits here, and then it rises up, and basically goes like this, because the northern hemisphere is smaller. This is bigger. This is why we get this sun analemma that looks like this, bigger down here. This is what happens. The ecliptic plane goes up and in, down and out, like flapping the wings of a bird, but it's more like a jellyfish because it's all the way around. It's all the way around. This is a new pen. Pretty poor, isn't it? Where we going? So the moon, this is the moon. I should have had red up here for the sun. So June solstice, this is the southern hemisphere. Look where the flipping moon is, and it's the opposite. So in my videos I've tried to explain that the moon is the shadow of the sun. It's the female entity of the male, just like I've talked about the spiritual enlightenment, how the female entity comes into the male. As above, so below. Sun's the male, moon's the female in one aspect, but then you have to realise the moon is actually united now. So that's why the sun is united, so that's makes it hermaphrodites, the male and female.